Hello and welcome to a fresh interview. I'm here today at the Space on Westbury Road on the Isle of Dogs, and I'm here with DeVon Jackson.
Hey guys.
Right this time, who is playing Rubeck in the play When We Dead Awaken by Henrik Ibsen. Now, some people watching might think that that's not a Henrik Ibsen play I've heard of before, and that's exactly what I want to talk to you about.
That's exactly the reaction I had when I first read it. Or when I first heard about the production was, what? When We Dead Awaken? What is this about?
So try, if you can, without giving too much away, sum it up.
Well, what happens is, it's basically, what this play describes is what happens when the great beauty, the great muse, who you've lost touch with later on in life, finds her or its way back into your life, and how that can bring your life into disarray. It's also, generally speaking, it's about whether or not, art can flourish in an environment of luxury, in an environment where everything's given to you. We're doing French theater right now, and in French theater, you have to be very creative to solve any of the problems that are presented to you. And this script, because of how old it is, and it's rumored that he was near to his death. He had already suffered a couple of strokes, so there are deep challenges in this play. And so I think this play talks about how you almost need these challenges to create great breakthroughs in art and theater. And but to sum up very quickly, it's about an artist who's lost his touch, and he believes that it's because he's lost touch with his muse from 4 or 5 years ago. And then when she shows up, he actually learns something different. We'll leave it at that. So
why do you think this is a play that's not done as often as, say, something like The Doll's House or Hedda Gabler?
There are some challenges just with the technical. There's a huge crescendo of a scene that happens at the end, and just technically speaking, it's almost impossible to do. But we've figured out a way to do it. Especially in this last week, we've been having a lot of little mini breakthroughs, which I'm excited to have you guys come and find and see.
So playing Rubeck, the main character, so you are the artist who is
the sculptor.
The sculptor.
Yeah.
What do you find in that character yourself personally?
It's funny. There are so many things with Rubeck I'd almost say it's almost too easy to relate to, especially as a theater artist. He deals constantly with success, feeling like a success. No matter how good your work is, you'll always question it, you'll always doubt it. And so there's a lot of that he plays with and that he talks about in the play. So I think, what else? There's also, I think that's it. That's good.
So it sounds...
Man, I feel like I'm under the gun. I know this won't be edited at all, so all these little...
It's alive and raw.
Oh man,
the raw emotion. So, how do you think fans of Ibsen are going to react to this if they don't already know the play? If that's a question you feel you can answer.
Honestly, I think they'll be pretty enthused. Just because just starting with the cast. We've cast people from all over with all sorts of different accents. We're going against the grain slightly with a couple of characters, and I think just in that'll activate it and make it exciting enough for people. Just based on that level, I think people will enjoy that. But aside from that, because it was written in 1899, we find ourselves, when we read it, there's some sort of there's some themes that we're subverting, and there are probably some patriarchal themes that we're subverting, and it's funny, we feel like we're subverting them, but if sometimes when you read deep into the text, you see it's already there, and you don't really have to subvert anything. And that's what this last week has been about, especially. Almost every day we're finding something new that we hadn't realized, or something sort of under this sculpture that he's made himself. We're finding all sorts of different new facades from the play that we just hadn't taken a clear look at until now.
So how are you guys feeling fresh off the success, the company's success from the Vault Festival, which is 2 months ago?
Yeah.
Do you, is that a worry that you don't think you're going to live? That's a horrible question. Do you think you're going to live up to your success at the Vault Festival, and how has that spurred this production on?
Luckily, this is my first production with La Fool, so I don't feel that pressure to, and I never feel that pressure to try and recapture the magic from the last show. And I don't think anyone here would either. Part of the reason why I signed on to help companies, because I really did not sense that ego from any of these people, and there is none of that vanity, especially with the director Natalie Adlam. I remember just talking to her about specifically the last big scene. I remember just talking to her on the phone. I was like, how are you gonna do that? And this is before I've accepted the role. And she just explained to me her process, and there was just no ego behind it, and she's just, you know, and she has a lot of, let me just say this, she has a lot of insight onto just like the basics of human behavior and human interaction, and she's brought that into this play. So I think as long as that's there, we really shouldn't have to worry about that. But I'm confident we will follow up the Vault Festival with another good show.
So just a few more questions.
Sure.
I hope, if you're fine. If you're not, you don't hate me after that one.
No, I don't hate you. I love you. I'm good. I'm
No,
great.
Brilliant. So this is opening a double bill of Ibsen for the Spaces Ibsen Festival. Do you think that people who are going to see both this and The Doll's House that follows, how do you think this is going to? Do you think this is going to have any effect on people viewing The Doll's House afterwards? Do you think it's going to shed a new angle on Ibsen and his work?
Well, I definitely think it was pretty creative of the Space to program both shows, and almost one right after the other. As far as, you know, I've been a little insular in my focus, just to my show. So I haven't. That's a very good question that I haven't even thought about. But I mean, at the very least, I'd hope that when people see The Doll's House, they'll see where some of the seeds of the ideas that we further flesh out, because it was written. Our show was written after Doll's House. We want to see. It would be nice to see some of the seeds of the ideas that are explored in our play. So I think that'll be interesting for people to come and see both shows.
So to finalize, what would you say to get viewers to come to the show?
I would say mark it on your calendars, May 12th through the 30th, like Tuesdays through Saturdays, except for Friday, May 15th. Come down to the Space. There's a beautiful cafe, pre-show dinner, and then have drinks with the cast after. Come on down. When We Dead Awaken by Les Fools.
Well, there you have it. If DeVon hasn't convinced you, I'll certainly be doing all I can to, and I'm certainly looking forward to this. Going into a writer which I really love, and something that I didn't know he did before. So it's going to be a journey of discovery for me as a theatre enthusiast and critic as well. So thank you very much for your time. I shall let you enjoy this wonderful day by going back inside and rehearsing some more.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Ciao.
All right, see ya.